On for my weekly chat to our US correspondent, Annelise Nielsen. I can't get away from this topic too. Annelise Nielsen, thank you so much for joining me again. I played earlier the clips from the interviews that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have given to first comedian James Corden. I think that was last week, and then to Oprah Winfrey. That's been pre-recorded, and Sunday we'll see the results. More complaints from them about how terrible life in Britain was, how they almost literally had to flee for their lives. Now, here's what I don't get, and you probably, being an American citizen, living there now, I thought the US celebrated winners and success. Why this fascination for two whingers who are extremely rich and privileged celebrities?
Well, I mean, you have to look at who the audience for this interview is going to be. When it's played back in the United Kingdom, you can assume that it's going to go down like a lead balloon, especially with Prince Philip's health situation at the moment. But in the American idea, they're just really among a whole legion of celebrities. And the royal family added that extra clout. It really put Meghan on a platform she wasn't on before. But what we saw is that media coverage has been quite consistent, but they're never really headline stories here. They're often among the morning shows they're talked about, but for ordinary Americans, they know of Meghan Markle, they know of Prince Harry, but it's not the same kind of emotional attachment. And so this is all really about building their platform so that they are more influential in America. When it comes to that idea about complaining, Americans are more open with their emotions, they're more open with struggles, and they're more accepting of the idea that you can be wealthy and well off and still have battles, because Americans do really like celebrities. So this is likely to probably play quite well in America, really, especially with Oprah Winfrey being a sympathetic voice in all of this. It's on a pretty consistent theme we've heard from Meghan Markle. She complained that she didn't have a voice in the monarchy. She wasn't asked to speak out, and she thought she had things to say that should have been heard. And there's a pretty famous report of the first time that Fab Four, when that was still a thing, got together with Prince William and Kate Middleton. She complained that the microphone wasn't handed to her until the very end and said, "Don't I have a voice?" Now you have to take all of these royal stories with a bit of a grain of salt, because we know that they can be Chinese whispers before they get to any kind of print. But what we probably will see is some kind of misstep, because how can you not, in a 1.5 hour interview, say something that's going to rile people? Whether Americans actually notice, though, will be a completely different thing.
I noticed that Oprah Winfrey chose to interview Meghan Markle first, and then Prince Harry's got a sort of walk-on part later. What does that signify?
I think it signifies what the narrative they're trying to put forward is that she hasn't had a voice, and so this is her big breakout moment to finally say her piece. She feels like she's been silenced throughout all of this, and they have had a number of legal cases, you'll remember too, with the British press around their privacy. They feel like things were misreported, and one of their consistent complaints with the British monarchy was that they felt like they couldn't step out to correct the record when there was misreporting around them. So they're enjoying that freedom in the United States. They're hoping to latch onto that star power of Oprah Winfrey. They're in a much more comfortable position now. They've got huge assets behind them, with these Netflix deals reported to be worth millions of dollars, Netflix and Spotify. So what we are going to see is them being more influential in content creation. That's a really popular buzzword around, especially Hollywood at the moment, for people, because it does give them that power and influence. And that's what they really want out of this. They want to be influential figures. They want to be respected. And you don't need to really be liked to be respected. You have to remember, they want to be powerful. And so that's really going to play into this narrative as well.
Well, they don't just want to be respected. They want anyone who doesn't respect them to be forced into silence. They sue like crazy. Is this a way to sort of, the fascination that America has for this, and the fact that, Meghan Markle is the star, not so much Prince Harry, is this a way to contrast the supposedly free and open democratic United States with the supposedly stuffy, stiff and monarchical Britain? Is this a way, in a sense, for America to get over its sort of inferiority complex when it comes to, British pomp and royalty and all that kind of thing?
I really wouldn't overemphasize how much Americans think about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They know them, they're celebrities, but there are legions of celebrities in the United States, and it still wouldn't rank anywhere near the kind of pull that you'd get from Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian. It's part of their long-running plan, obviously, to try and build that presence. But when it comes to the perspective from Britain, that's very different. They have a completely different relationship with the royal family. Most American people, if they're devotees of history, they might be more dedicated to the idea that the monarchy has a certain role, but otherwise they just see them as another kind of celebrity as well. And so that's really what they're latching onto.